Hello and thank you for joining me again. My name's Holly Davis. I've been working as an international animal communicator since 1999. I'm also a qualified behaviourist and therapist for animals and also a therapist for people. Basically, the purpose of this video is to explain to you a little about what animal communication is, how it works and what it can be used for. Animal communication is basically the connection on a subtle level between a person and animal, or obviously an animal and animal as well. The communicator, obviously the human in this instance, is able to ask the animal questions and pick up information from them in the form of words, pictures and feelings. And the information, the way it goes between the animal and the communicator is both the same. The animal communicator will then pick the information up as words, pictures and feelings, but we will also send the information back as that as well. So it may well be that when we send and receive the information, as well as formulating individual words, sentences and various dialogue, we will also send mental images, almost like photographs or video, to the animal to show them what we mean. And when we get the information back, we may find that we get that same kind of information back as well. So it's not quite as easy as just two people sat together talking everything in English. It's not quite like that. That there's a little bit of having to fit the pieces of that jigsaw puzzle together in order that everything makes sense. I have come across animal communicators over the years that have never heard an animal speak in their life, but the level of information that they get by way of feelings and imagery is often enough to help them to still put those pieces together in order to get the information that they need. I tend to find that the information comes to me in all of those ways, mainly as words. Some communicators as well will tell you that if an animal has an issue physically, that they may feel those sensations, they may start to get pain in their own legs and things like that. That's something that I don't get, thank goodness. Instead the animal will explain it, or I'll get a mental sense of it. It's almost like feeling it without physically feeling it, although I do have physical sensations if I'm asking an animal about something and that scares them, and it may well be that they show me the sense of panic and that I can feel my own chest tighten, or my heart rate pick up a little bit when I'm feeling that from them, which kind of tells me how they're experiencing what's going on in their physiology. How stressed are they, how frightened are they when it's going on. There's not really any limits to the questions that you can ask from the point of view of, you can ask about physical illnesses, you can symptoms that not all symptoms are visible. Some animals may feel sick but aren't physically vomiting, so communication can be very good in with ill animals from the point of view that you can pick up those symptoms that otherwise may not be seen. In the case of horses, obviously it's very good to find out the cause of riding issues, any animal behaviour issues, lots of different things, finding out about how they feel about the family, their environment, what needs to change to help them. All of those questions that we basically wanted to ask and that we've never been able to ask before, not without this kind of communication. So basically I work with people all over the world with their animals, because when we work in this way, we're making an energetic connection. We're not actually communicating with the animal's physical body, and due to that, energy travels. Energy is pretty instantaneous. It means that distance isn't an issue. It doesn't matter, because I live in Wales in the UK, it doesn't matter to me whether a horse, or a cat or a dog or a rabbit or whatever is living next door to me, is in my garden, and it doesn't matter if they're in Australia. And it's midnight. It just doesn't make any difference. So that's one of the wonderful things about it, especially when it comes to the medical things as well, because it means that it enables me to also help animals, all around the world. One particular instance is a horse that was in Australia that was refusing to load into a trailer, just out of the blue, totally out of character for them. And when I asked them why, they were showing me that their foot, I think it was their front right, I can't, if I remember rightly now, felt a little bit odd, like it didn't feel like it was firmly on the floor when they stood in the trailer. Sure enough, when the owner pulled back the matting, the wood was rotten in that part of the floor underneath the trailer. You know, had she have forced the horse on, and had she not listened to her horse, there obviously could have been, you know, it could even have been a fatal accident. So animal communication, as much as some people may mock it, some people may not take it seriously, some people may even use it as a party trick, it has a very, very serious side to it. Indeed, you know, a lot of the cases that I've worked with are animals that have had diagnoses missed, you know, in some cases quite serious ones, where animals have been able to go on and have treatment and have the tests. You know, animals that have been told that they're fine, that have told me that they, you know, sorry, owners that have had animals that have been told that they're fine, you know, that the vet can't find anything out of character, you know, can't find anything physically wrong, and yet, you know, in one instance, when a dog told me that he had a tight ball inside him, that was in his abdominal cavity that shouldn't be there, he was x-rayed and they found a tumour on his pancreas. So, you know, as you can see, there's some very, very serious matters that can be cleared up through communication. Another thing another way that I work with it is not just the animal telling me where they have pain, where they have discomfort. It can also be used with something called body scanning. There's lots of different stories. If you can hear a noise, there's a cat pouncing on something in the background. I also use body scanning. There are several different forms of it. The one that I tend to use, that I find the easiest, is a visual body scan, and the way that I do that, it makes no difference at all whether I'm with the animal or not with them. I close my eyes, I form a silhouette image of them that's 3D, which means I can turn it around, I can turn it upside down, walk around the sides of them, and what I will then find is I'll go around looking and I look for areas of white fog. When I find an area of white fog, it means that this is basically where there's an issue. It could be a joint, it could be a muscle, and when something's found, if need be, you know, if it's one of the more important things, you know, if it's something that could be causing lameness or anything like that, then we look into that particular area more closely. It could be that it's an arthritic joint, that the joint feels stiff. It could be that that particular leg feels heavier because the muscles aren't firing properly. It may be that the animal's gait isn't right, but that they're compensating in such a way that they don't look as if they're lame. And obviously animal communication is one of those things that can help discover those things, especially through the body scanning, because another thing that I use it for is to actually watch animals walk, watch how they can walk, watch how they can run, if there are concerns with anything like that, and then it allows me to watch an exaggerated gait. You know, it basically unmasks the compensations that they may be experiencing. Also with the body scanning, if there is nerve damage, things like that, then it may well be that what I see is almost like a sparkler effect in that area where the nerves aren't working properly, almost as if they're sparking out. That can often be seen in animals with, you know, horses with wobbler syndrome, things like that. So that'll give you an idea of a lot of the things that it can be used for. It can be used as well to obviously to ask animals about their past, why they're frightened of things. Like us, you know, like humans, animals all have different levels of intelligence. Some are a lot more open and honest. They're a lot more open to talking, but when we do come across abused animals, when we do come across you know, animals that have been neglected, it can make the communication a little bit harder, or animals that are in a huge amount of pain, you know, but if we stick with it, you know, normally we can do it. The same as animals that are tired, you know, it's a bit like talking to a person in the sense of how they feel in that moment, the attitude, that personality. Those types of feelings will come through to me in the tone of the voice, Also, how quickly or slowly that they're talking will also be a good indicator for me as to how they're actually feeling. Yeah, I hope that has helped you to understand a little bit about animal communication, what it can be used for, and I look forward to catching up with you again. Okay, thank you. Bye.